Hello, hello, Leo. Welcome to your January 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you are a sun, moon, or rising Leo. And I also want to just throw out the disclaimer as usual. If you are new to my channel, please remember that I am not an astrologer. So just to clear that up, I get some heat in the comment section, but you're not watching an astrology video, folks. This is just for Leos. Okay. Anywho, let's go ahead and pull these cards. I also want to let you know that the January love and relationship readings will be up on Patreon on the 1st. If you're watching this before January, otherwise they're already up. And if you are on that tier, you also have access to the 2019 love and relationship readings. So those are going to be really fun. It's going to be like an intention setting spread for if you're in a relationship or wanting to call in a relationship. It's just going to be, it's going to be gold. Okay. Now let's get into the oracle cards first. A fearful world. So remember that there will always be fears, right? It's not going to go away. That's how we've evolved. There are many, many things that you can fear. And so this is really calling your attention to that fact that there's always going to be something to fear, but it doesn't mean that it's worth giving energy. There's a difference between having fear and then challenging it regardless. So just know that this is something that is going to come up, and fear is something that you do have to challenge in order to grow. That's what makes you grow, is doing hard, challenging, and scary things and gathering data that shows you that it didn't actually turn out that bad. The word of the month is ground. Take a breath, find your center, act from your inner knowing, accept Gaia's loving embrace. What do you do to ground yourself out? Is it exercise? Is it meditation? Is it cooking for yourself? I mean, what is it? Just make sure you are getting plenty of those activities. And now we have the animal card for you in January is hummingbird. Lots of energy. I think this is kind of like a month where you have your mojo back. This is reflecting some buzzing activity, lots of things to do, lots of places to go, people to see, things to work on. There's a lot going on in January. So whatever intentions you've set for the new year, or if that's something you do in January instead, whatever calendar you like to work with, the hummingbird is just showing that there's a lot going on. It's very buzzy this month. And then the central energy for you is the 9 of rocks. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've put in a lot of work. You've put in a lot of time. It's okay to rest and relax. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to decompress and just to let yourself breathe after all of the work that you've been doing. Perhaps you're recouping from 2018. I mean, sometimes you kind of have to go into the new year with, all right, let me take a breath. That's even what it says here on the grounding card. Take a breath, find your center. And there's always going to be things to do, people to see, places to go. That's always there. I see this as trying to balance the two, trying to temper both of these, but it seems that the 9 of rocks, the 9 of pentacles in a normal deck is the foundational piece that you really need to focus on. Giving to yourself first is going to be paramount for you. The crossing energy is death. Ooh, love it, love it, love it. I am seeing this as being new for you. Maybe you are feeling like you might be in servitude or always doing for others or giving so much of yourself. That is one thing about Leos that I find is that giving to others is, it's part of the character structure, if you will, in many respects. Even though it can be very ego driven, there's a part of it that just has to do with give, 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 and being big-hearted. So there's a lot of energy here where that's breaking down and you're giving a little bit more to yourself, which is going to help balance everything else out. Because know that this is like you've just busted out of a cocoon. It's the death and rebirth cycle. This is going to be a month where you turn a new leaf. You're working with a different energy. You're giving to yourself. And so that this is something where maybe it is bringing up fear, maybe doing things differently, saying no to things, or saying no to every single activity under the sun is fear inspiring, especially if you have any people-pleasing habits. What you have shifting out in January is the King of Torches. This is you, burning bright, burning hot. This to me is burnout level. Okay, look at how much yellow is in this card. It's almost blinding. Like, God, get me some sunglasses. So that energy, it's just so intense that I think, because you can look at the natural progression here, you have burning yourself out, doing everything that you possibly can, shoving activities into every nook and cranny, and then wanting to sleep. Are we surprised? No, we're not. So that's just something where you're going to have to do it differently. You're going to have to give to yourself and trust that everything's going to be okay, even if you take a break. And do things that are relaxing, do things that are low stress, do things that you don't have to obsess over and you don't have to fixate on. Rest in January. The oncoming energy is the Tower. I'm going to clarify this. So something is being burnt down in January. Just what could it be? So what is being let go? What's being released in the oncoming energy? Wheel of Fortune. So too many plates are spinning. It looks like overload. Because this is, look at how action-packed this card is. It's reading as burnout again. That is the very thing that is no longer working for you. So it's going to push you into not necessarily hibernation, but extreme awareness around what you are reasonably able to give effort to. Okay, let me be clear. Not everything is worth your effort. Not everything is worth your time. And some things are very much worth your time. And there's a difference between those two things. Sometimes opportunities are too good to pass up and too good to look over. And other times you just need to say no to certain things. So that's what's happening here, is just all that energy that you have. Some of these things are still going to be running in January, but they need to be broken down so you can give to yourself even better than you have in the past, and more on a rest and care level. The outward manifestation is temperance, finding balance in all of the things that you do. So that's what this is actually really cut and dry. You're striking a balance between activity and rest, effort and, putting up healthy boundaries with certain things. So let's see what's in the subconscious. Maybe it'll give us some more context. We have the Hanged Man. Your consistent actions, thoughts, beliefs, and systems that you're running are dictating your experience. Those are the very things that are kind of shaping your reality. If you believe that people won't like you if you say no, then you are sacrificing yourself for other people. If you believe that your identity is wrapped up in XYZ, then that is what will be. And so the Hanged Man is just showing you the consistency piece is what's driving your decisions. So this is worth investigating in January. It's also going to help you to feel into the contours of what you need in order to achieve balance in any areas that are a little bit too extreme. Leos can run a lot of extreme energy, so it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of the structure. Okay, let's move on to the advice. Strength, this is your card. You're going to solve this. If there is a problem, if there's a block, if there's something that you want to do or you want to make time for, it will happen. Granted, it does take effort. It does take your attention. It's not something that you can just lay around and expect it to be taken care of for you. However, it is something that you can problem solve. There's nothing about this situation that is entirely intractable. It's just something that needs to be greased a little bit and requires you maybe to think outside the box, zoom out a little bit, trust that any ebbs and flows in your energy will shift. External influences, we have the Ace of Rocks. Eesh, I'm gonna clarify this one. Two of Pentacles. So we have the Ace and Two of Pentacles sitting here. Let me be clear. If your life is so full that you cannot give to yourself, or you do not have space for other things, or you're sacrificing certain things, you have to be very intentional and specific about what you are planting that's new. The Ace of Rocks is planting a new seed and starting fresh, and it's that new beginning with that new thing that you're holding space for and welcoming into your environment. If this is a distraction, it will become a black hole. If it's something that's supporting you, or something nourishing or healing or expansive, then it's worth your energy. But you have to decide whether or not this is a good use of your time, space, and energy. And it's just one of those things that you will have to decide for yourself. Relationships are a really great example. Some relationships are toxic black holes. Some relationships are healing and nurturing, and it's the absolute best way to repair certain traumas. Others will amplify traumas. So that's the type of decision making you'll have to make, or maybe it's a work venture that you would like to pursue. Is it a distraction from your big goal? Is it a side project? Is it a waste of your energy? Is it a vacuum, or is it a good use of your time? Ask yourself as many of these questions as you can before you plant any new seeds. Make the decision carefully. Hopes and fears. Seven of Shells, too many options. You're figuring out what to invest in, what's worth your time, what's worth your energy. It's at your discretion. Be very mindful of old patterns and behaviors. Those are the types of things that will get you into trouble if you're not being ultra cautious. So it's the relationship thing is just such a key example, because that's kind of my wheelhouse. Is, are you plugging into a vacuum? Are you just engaging in the same behaviors? Do you have any emotional addictions to stress, to relationships, to codependency, to any of those things? It's all going to be highlighted for you this month, and that's what you're burning down. It doesn't mean that you can't start anything new. This is about understanding there will always be 50,000 places for you to put your energy. But you have to decide what's a priority to you and what's not. And what are the core motivations in the decisions that you're making. That's what the Seven of Pentacles is saying. There's some hope and fear in both of those things. Let's see what the outcome is for January. The Chariot. Sagittarius got this too. I think January is going to be a bit of a trying month. It is a great time to take a really good care of yourself and put yourself first. I'm always in favor of that. I always, support that when it's done intentionally, when it's done mindfully and respectfully. That is the best way to heal yourself and take good care of the relationships and things that you have in your life that are priorities to you. So this is going to take some time to integrate. And if you want to start incorporating new things into your life, it's going to take some time. It's going to require some progressive energy, and you're not necessarily going to see the end result quite yet. You're going to have to give it some time, and it might feel a little bit shaky in January. So it's not totally a smooth month, and there could easily be some hiccups, ups and downs, but that's a part of what you're healing. That's a part of what you're breaking down and smoothing over. Trust the hiccups and the weebles and wobbles, because that's helping you feel into the temperance and the balance and the consistency and ultimately what you really do desire and what is fulfilling and what makes you feel good. Those are all things that are worth focusing on. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the timeline. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. And we have first, second, third, and fourth quarter. So this will be where you start off the month of January. And yes, they're about a week, a little more fluid than that though. So that's why they're broken down into quarters. First quarter, Four of Pentacles, really strapped energetically. I don't think there's a lot of you to give or share or go around as far as what you're really able to put forth into any type of connections or projects. It seems like you really need to just focus on what's in front of you and not worry about initiating anything new. It's like, aside from, okay, if you want to get started on something in January, like a new habit or trying to wake up early, stuff like that, little superficial things are fine. Big projects, no, don't do that. Like that, aside from work and the normal exceptions, this is not a good time to start on new projects. Second quarter, we have the Two of Cups. There you go. Is there an important connection in your life? Great omen if you're looking for relationships, if that's something you're into. The second quarter of January is where you're going to be feeling more into that, or connecting with someone that you do think is a good fit, or a deepening connection with a partner. And with self, it's all self-care and that emotional drive that you have, that big-heartedness that you have. So it seems that the energy starts to shift. It's just that first quarter is your mindfulness around the energy that you're giving, and then it shifts into maybe there is a little bit of reciprocity and energy that I can start how do I explain this, that you can give and take with someone. Third quarter, Father of Cups. Okay, this is starting to look like an emotionally based month. That is also why I'm picking up on a little bit of fatigue, and why it might be a little bit more challenging or trying, because you're not going to be able to successfully burn the candle at both ends without consequences in January. And you have probably been able to do that for a long time, but I think January is like, you're pooped. Like this season before this, whether you were busy with the holidays or work was crazy, whatever it is you had going on, January is like, you cannot do all that anymore. You're going to need to take a break. And the Father of Cups is about owning what it is that you need to take care of yourself. Also, highly relationally based. Relational healing, relational awareness, relationships are important in January, and that could even be what you're sifting through at this time. Business, romantic, platonic, familial, all of them. Wrapping up January, what do we have? The Magician. I know just how powerful Leos are, so the Magician is like, whatever you want to make happen, you can. It's just that the system that you have implemented at this time isn't working. It's like you need to upgrade the way you're approaching things and what you're doing. Your strategy energetically isn't sustainable, and that's what needs to be revised. You're going to go through this month and have a deeper understanding of that, but I think by the end of the month you'll get clarity on what it is that you need to make happen and what it is that you are going to be calling in for the rest of the year and what your priorities really are. So that is looking good. And now we're going to do a 3-card pick. If you have a specific question, go ahead and ask it now. You can pick as few or as many cards as you'd like. This reading is just for you. Okay, card number 1. 2 of Rods. Focus on what you're receiving. This is a good time to take score of what's working as far as the energy you're receiving and the energy that you're giving, and what's not. You have to be the one to decide what exactly is, what's giving to you at this time. So, I mean, anything that you want to receive, it's kind of like the waiting game for the manifestation. The 2 of Rods is all about calling it in, waiting and seeing, but also knowing that you're worthy of whatever it is you're calling in. That's the second aspect of this. Card number 2, Page of Pentacles. The initiation energy is going to be really strong around that situation. Just be cautious. This is like proceed with caution. And I'm getting that from the expression. You can see it's not totally gung-ho. It's like, I don't know, maybe yes, no, kind of, sort of. And there's a lot of contemplation in this card that I'm picking up on, but the initiation energy, the desire is going to be there. So just go slow with the decision. When in doubt, just slow down. There's no reason to, like, you know, dive into something that you don't feel totally grounded in. Take January as a month to figure it out. Card number 3, the Moon. So you're not going to know, you're not going to have all the answers, you're not going to have all the information in January, so just be okay with that. There's not much else to say when it comes to this card. Just leave it open. Don't get too fixated on one path, one vision, one ultimate way of thinking about things. This is encouraging you to think a little bit more broad about what it is that you have coming up. Be a little bit more intentional with your time and energy, because it's just like there's a lot of things that are coming to light still. So it's in order to feel grounded, you kind of have to float for a little while and feel into being ungrounded. Again, you have to have the contrast there, so don't get too wrapped up if you don't know how to proceed with something or you're uncertain. It's okay, because it's going to shift. Okay, my friends, thank you so much, Leo, for joining me today. I appreciate you more than you could possibly know. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, all of that good stuff. Don't forget, love and relationship readings are on Patreon. I'll put the link right there, and it will also be in the description box. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, I'm an intuitive counselor, so I do energetic work with people, and all of the links for that are in the description box. And tarot spreads, you're welcome to get some of those too. And until next time, have a beautiful January, and I will talk to you later. Bye, Leo.